Are you looking for a fun graduation card you can personalize in minutes? Today I'm sharing a mini slimline design you can cut with your Cricut. And I've got free SVGs for 5 additional years. Plus, you'll have 2 card base options. A regular card or one designed to hold a cash gift or gift card. Whether you're celebrating the class of 2025, 2026, or beyond, you'll have everything you need to create a custom card they'll love. Let's jump in and make a card that's as special as their big day. Hey everyone, it's Lean from ColoradoLean.com. Welcome back to the craft room. Now that we're in Cricut Design Space, let's go ahead and come to Upload. Choose our class of card and add that to the canvas. The very first thing we want to do is we want to ungroup all of the layers. And now we can choose which of the 2 card bases we're going to use today. This one right here is your standard mini slimline card. And this one over here on the left is our gift card money holder. This is the one I'm going to be showing you how to work with today. So let's go ahead and hide this other card base. This layer right here, I have included for the use inside of your card. My card base today is going to be white, so I do not need this. However, if you were using, say, a dark blue card base, then you would want to cut this so you have a space to write. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this layer as well. So in order to see what we're doing with our card base and everything on it, I'm going to come over to the Layers panel. While holding my Shift key down, I'm going to select all of the other layers so that we can move them out of the way. The first thing I want to do is I want to hold my Shift key down and highlight the 2 lines on our card base. I will come up to Operation and change that from a basic cut to a score. While our score lines are still highlighted, I'm going to hold my Shift key down and also highlight the card base. And then I will attach those together. Now I will arrange that to the back so that we can still see our congratulations. I'm going to highlight that. Again, come up to Operation and change that to a pen. And now I'm going to decide which pen I'm going to use. And that is going to be my 1mm marker in black. So now we need to tell the Cricut exactly where we want this word printed. So I'm going to, with this word still highlighted, I will hold down my Shift key and I will click on this attach, which when opened, you'll see that it is our card base. And then I will click attach again. So now on our card base, we have our 2 score lines and we have our word congratulations. So let's go ahead and move over here. Let's highlight our class of, and again, we need to come over to Operation, change it from a basic cut to a pen. Again, I'm going to be using my 1mm marker in black. Holding down my Shift key, I'm going to highlight our white layer, and then I will attach that as well. Now, to make cutting a little bit easier, I will come over to my card base again, highlight just the card base, and I'm going to change that color to white. So now these 2 items will cut on the same mat. for my 2025, I'm going to highlight just the numbers, and I'm going to change those colors to gold, and then I'm going to change my shadow colors to red. Now let's go ahead and save our project. Let's go ahead and click Make. I'm going to be working on a 12 by 12 mat, so I will confirm that. For my card base, I'm going to be using 110-pound white Recollections card, and that only comes in 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to go ahead and move my class of card. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and rotate that, and then move that to the upper right-hand corner of my mat. Because I only have one light grip mat, I am personally going to make a note on how large of a piece I need. So for this piece here, I'm just going to use a piece of scrap card. So I need this layer to be 7 inches by 4 inches. So I will make a note for my red layer as well as my yellow layer. And now I will click Continue. Today I'm going to be using my Cricut Explore Air 2. Two of my card layers are going to be 110-pound card. That will be the white layer and the black layer. The red and yellow layers will be 65-pound card. So I want to make sure to change my base material for the last 2 cuts. For the card base, I'm going to go ahead and choose heavy cardstock. That will be at the default pressure. And now I want to go ahead and load my scoring stylus into clamp A. And then coming up, I will need to load my black marker into clamp A, and then it will cut my card. So I'm going to go ahead and get my mats ready, get this cut, and I will meet you back at the craft desk soon. As I mentioned while we were in Cricut Design Space, we're going to be making this graduation card here that will hold a cash gift or a gift card. However, before we get started with that, I did want to comment a little bit about the regular card base. If you did not want to cut the base on the Cricut, this is very easy to cut on your own. All you need is a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/4 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide. And then you want to score that down the middle at 3 1/4 inches so that your final card is 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. So let's go ahead and set that one aside, and we will get started with our project. Let's start with our 2025. As I mentioned before, you will have access to 5 additional years when you download the SVG file. And I cannot believe 2030 is only 5 years away. That is insane. I don't have anyone that I am making a graduation card for this year. So I am using my class colors from back in the day of yellow and red. These numbers are very easy to put on here. They're nice and big, and they have a really nice even margin around. So I'm going to go ahead and get my art glitter glue and get our numbers glued on here. So this didn't take any time at all. And I got the letters on there fairly consistently straight. Another way you could do this if you wanted to make sure everything was perfectly lined up is you could use heat transfer vinyl like I did here. This is yellow Caesar Easy Weed. I used my Cricut mini press on low, and I heated this for oh gosh, I don't know, less than 25 seconds, which is the recommended time. And then I did a warm peel and it was ready to go. Everything is perfectly lined up. So this is another option that you have. Let's go ahead and set that aside and bring in our card base. I did use my scoring stylus to score my card, but with a 110-pound card, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it just barely made a dent in the card. If you do not reinforce those score lines, then you will get cracking like I did on this example here. I think you can see that. So I'm going to bring in my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and I am just going to reinforce these score lines. And now you can see on the back that that is a much better score. Now it still did crack just a little bit. I think it's actually this particular package of paper that I have. I've been having issues with it for a while. But I am going to reinforce that score line with my bone folder. To glue our little pocket closed, you could either use a little bit of art glitter glue, just a very fine line on the edge. However, I'm going to use 1/8" Scor-Tape. And I'm going to put this right on the very edge. And then I will burnish that down with my bone folder and close up my pocket. And there is our card base. So the first thing I want to do is place my 2025 onto the white layer. And to do that, I am going to use a little bit of art glitter glue. However, this is large enough that if you wanted, you could use Scor-Tape. And I'm going to line this up pretty much in the middle. That looks good. And I already have Scor-Tape on the back. And I have that on there now. And I'll just take the Scor-Tape backing off of this and apply it to our card front. And there we go. It is all done. Now I will say this is not big enough to put a dollar bill or to put cash in all the way across. Even if you just used glue on there, it would not fit. So I just tuck the ends under like that, and it will fit in there perfectly, as will a gift card. This is not a gift card. This is a hotel key card, but gift card. And that will fit in there perfectly. And there we have it. That was so easy to do. You definitely have room up here at the top as well as behind the gift if you wanted to write a message to your graduate. The envelopes that you're going to need for the mini Slimline cards measure 6.5 inches by 3 5/8 inches. And that will give you plenty of room to place your card. This particular envelope I did pick up at my local stationery store. However, you can also get envelopes this size at the Dollar Tree. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this graduation card project inspired some creative ideas for your Cricut crafting. You can download the free SVGs with the link down in the description, or head over to the corresponding blog post at coloradolean.com to grab them over there. While this card was designed for graduation, you can easily switch out the sentiment and numbers to use for birthdays, retirements, or any milestone worth celebrating. Before you go, I'd love to know, what's your favorite graduation memory or tradition? Go ahead and share that with me down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a crafty friend. And as always, happy crafting.